Am I that dad? Am I that dad who has a professional athlete in his house? That's so cool, guys. Let's talk about it. My friends, I wrote a blog post, a newsletter in my Agile VC, and I just want to go through it and unpack it a little bit because there's so much to it. And what I love to do is create documentation through video as well. So let's go through this newsletter that I wrote. It's called Pro Card Unlocked, Prospec Miata with Bitcoin Racing US. I can now die. Not to be hyperbolic, but truly, I can now leave this planet a very content man. You know, there was this quest log that I had created for myself in life, and part of that quest log, being pretty simple, honestly, was just to be successful in business, to build my own house, to drive expensive cars, to race, and the final, travel the world, things like this. Like, none of this was exceptionally difficult to achieve. I have a low bar in terms of the goals that I have in life, but one of those that I've achieved that I never imagined, this was an emergent quest log item to sign off on, was to help my son get a pro card, a pro license to drive cars fast, thereby enabling him to get access to the world of speed globally. Now, this was an emergent goal, right? This was something that transpired after having and creating a child and then realizing that this one inherited genetic dispositions of speed, and we continued to promote and support these interests and these passions of his, and apparently it's worked out. You know, 6 years ago, when the fire began for racing, we always knew that when we began my son's journey into cars, that day one, the goal was always cars. Now, karting was merely a gateway system. It was a perfunctory program necessary for the honing of key skills, behaviors, experiences, and learning about the lifestyle of someone dedicated to the craft of speed. You know, one of the things that I never imagined is how fast time would fly. And now, my friends, we've done it. We've done it. So first and foremost, I have to give massive thanks to CleanSpark, America's Bitcoin miner, and their sponsorship of the Bitcoin race team so that we could make it possible to build this car and put it together. And also a big thanks to all of our sponsors and early supporters for making this happen. We want to bring Bitcoin education and motorsports to every college and university. Think on this, friends. Think on how my emergent life has transpired in that I were to be born and I were to have this natural inclination, this natural passion for speed and building speed. I would end up somehow through the winds of fate to create this progeny, this child who would likewise have a natural inclination and passion for speed. And not only that, is that I, as a man, could make my living, make money in my world of passion, which is technology and racing and education. God has been so good to me, guys. God has been so good to me. So, as we are moving from this one chapter of karting into the world of racing, let's go over the numbers. It's not fully accurate, but it's the best I could do because you guys know I love the numbers. So here we go. 6 years of karting, 5 full seasons. Started in 2019. Average 17 races per season. The highest amount of races we did in a year was 27. That was crazy. A low of 14, which was essentially just one full club season in a national race or a couple of those. Total races run in 6 years of karting, it's about 114 or so. So about, I'd say 110 to 120. I'm sure I've missed a couple here and there. But yeah, not bad. Not bad. 17 per year. I wish I could have a complete data set on the average of positions gained, average qualifying position starting, etc., but the fractured nature of the various racing series prohibits quality data and data sharing. This is actually one of the reasons why I invested in Garage ID, which is a system and platform, a Web3 platform that connects racers and drivers to racing series so that there can be data share, right? So this is something that I know intimately. The average quality position over 114 races is P7. The average finishing position was P5, so my son did and my driver did pretty well. Did not finishes were about 18 over the 5 years or so. That's a lot more than I thought. But then again, we had some rough seasons in the last couple years. He won a major championship. He came second in a major championship. He came third in a major championship in 2020, 2021, 2023. 2024 was our hardest year with lots of DNFs, so most of those 18 did not finishes of the races came in 2024. That was a tough year. 2023 and 2024, those were the toughest years. And out of all of these 5-6 years, my friends, infinite amounts of joy and pain. We took karting for what it was, a stepping stone into car racing. My son and I had a very simple deal. I provide every opportunity to drive a performant machine with access to great coaching and support. I'm very good at that, networking and finding great people. My driver's job was to show up in his office and put in the work to learn the machine, learn to communicate feedback, and to learn to network himself to other great humans in racing, and spend all of his other time on the simulator. So, if I may say, we are a great team. Father and son, a fully privateer team. In all candor, we did one hell of a job. The data evidence and proof in the product and output. My driver put in the work, and I provided the opportunities. From all of this hard work, my driver has achieved his pro card to race cars, and in doing so, given this old man the opportunity to support his dream to drive. It's inputs and outputs, friends. Dedication, determination, and no quit. A goal-minded, incremental, and iterative journey of doing the thing. Like I said before, my friends, it's taken me over a week to come down from the cloud nine that I've been on. I simply cannot believe that we've actually done it, and this fast. It's truly amazing and outstanding. We've passed through the veil into real professional sports car racing. Our first seasons in Pro Spec Miata will be foundational growth and racecraft. Now that we've been initiated, we merely need to exact the same exact plan that we did in karting. I provide all the opportunities, and my driver shows up and puts in the work. You know what excites me the most, my friends, on this journey into Bitcoin and racing and motorsports and education? Is that now we, with my son, Pro Card Unlocked, one of the youngest professional sports car drivers in America, now we are merely an introduction away from driving bigger and faster cars. Achievement unlocked. Pro Card Unlocked, friends. We are merely an introduction away from the highest levels of sports car racing. Let's go.